How are you today? That's good. Yeah,
Haven't
that's
stabbed
good.
anybody,
That's
so we're
good.
doing
That's
good.
like a bonus. That's a plus when you don't stab anybody. Yeah,
Well, for
right,
others,
exactly.
I mean, I'm
She's
fine.
totally fine. But today is a good day for others in your presence. I love it. Oh my gosh. Girl, is it snowing there?
Man down. No, it's actually
Oh,
sunny
wow.
today, but
Crazy,
balls
crazy,
cold.
crazy. Yay. So Erin Staubele is here. She's the amazing Erin Staubele. She is, I'll just give you a huge shout out because I have to. She is in charge of my website, and she is just the guru behind the scenes. So all of your emails that go out, those are from Erin. She's put them together. So check out my website, heathercorbettspiritualadvisor.com. Erin has done that. The emails, it blows my mind what you do actually. Like whenever I'm in trouble, I'm like, Mayday, Mayday, Erin. She's like, "Bup, bup, 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 bup," checks the back end. Here you go. It's like, and it comes so easy for you too. So I'm just like, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I also want to give her a huge shout out. Erin has done some incredible spiritual work, and she does Akashic sessions, which are absolutely incredible. I've had them. She does Reiki, and she's also a medium, and other things, spiritual advising, just goes on and on. But first, let's hear about your most profound spiritual experience. Erin is amazing. The bomb, says Patsy.
I know, just trying to log in here so I can read the comments because the comments go on quiet
Oh,
when I
do they?
miss a few. Plus, I don't have my glasses on because the light will reflect in my glasses and it
Oh,
looks really dim.
gotcha.
So I didn't have a contact day, so if I have my glasses on, like you can see
Look at it. I can
the
see the
light
light. Right.
ring.
We're just seeing orbs. Look at those orbs.
So
Oh my gosh. They're really consistent.
yeah, they've been following me
Oh,
lately, a purple one, and I'm like, am I stroking out or my blood pressure high or what's happening? Because like a blue one's been like following me, so if I look down, it like goes down, and then if I look up,
cool.
so I'm like, oh fuck, am
Or
I gonna
maybe
pass out or
maybe it's
what? I
just
don't
an
know. I'm
orb.
not sure what's happening, but
Isn't she
that's
awesome?
what that realization finally hit. But yeah, I was like, oh, but I don't know. It's really hard to
Mm-hmm.
like pick one because it seems like they get better
That's
and
cool.
better. Like I don't know. This last week has been kind of cool because I've been channeling Jesus a lot, which is interesting. And when my mom died when I was 16, like I kind of stopped talking to God because I'm like, why would you take her, a good person, when there's drug dealers and rapists and why would you take her? And like I felt like I just wanted that connection with him at that point, be like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting something and I felt like totally abandoned by him of all people. So, I mean, that was kind of one of the topics that we discussed last week, but it's just interesting that, you can have that experience and um because like I think I like channeled him pretty much like every day. So now if I
That's
just say it, he
so
just pops
awesome.
in. So it's really interesting,
What profound wisdom does he have for us?
and just yeah. Um, well, me, I'm not one to not ask what I really want to know. So like with Akashic Records, I've been seeing lots of planetary things, and with the Akashic Records is hard because with timeline stuff, a lot of stuff they show me is even though they can tell me a date range, like you can't Google it. So I've been seeing lots of planetary like galactic things. And then, so Jesus was telling me, he had me draw this symbol, and it was the craziest thing. So he had me draw a cross first, um, and then a circle around it, and then like dots on the outside in this random pattern. And then I had to connect them all. And then there's like little spirals on the outside and like three little things in the bottom. So, and then in each quadrant, I had to write these symbols. And then he shows me it spinning and he said this connects the planetary, it's like some type of a code. So realistically, why I started channeling Jesus was because I was trying to channel Da Vinci. Because if anybody watches Ancient Aliens on History Channel, it's pretty cool. And they said some interesting things about Da Vinci. So I'm like, ooh, I want to try to channel him. So then he was kind of talking about Da Vinci Code, and that this symbol like ties it all together. So the way he showed it to me is it's tying planets and places and things and people together. Um, because he just kind of spun it. So it's weird because like the symbol itself spins and then the things inside it spin, and then it was just like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that information, you know? And he he didn't make it be like you have to figure it out, but he said, I think he was kind of like it's gonna make sense, or um, something like that, because I was just like, because he had me write Christ consciousness next to it, and then he had me draw one of those little things that you can put the paper in, and it's got I think it's like one of those little Da Vinci spinners. So it was like three sections and then more symbols on that. So and the symbol was like a Christ consciousness symbol. So I don't know if it's supposed to, I haven't quite figured out what it's supposed to mean, but it's really interesting um, that that's what he was bringing through, because I mean he was pretty there all week. So I mean we just kind of
That's
talked about a lot of
incredible. That's
things.
incredible. Well, and I'm just
Um,
getting the hit too that I'm sure Da Vinci channeled Jesus as well, that this is stuff that Da Vinci already
mm-hmm.
maybe knew of, parts of it anyway. I feel like it keeps evolving though. Hmm.
Yeah. And that was kind of what that Ancient Aliens was kind of talking about. Like, did Da Vinci know things that other people didn't know? Um, because the way that he was drawing his paintings, the angels were not male, not female. Like the Last Supper that he created, all the hands are in a certain order so that if you look at it, it's musical notes. So then if somebody put together the musical note pattern, so it's like really, and then in all of his art and paintings, like they were finding significant things. So that was kind of my intention of channeling Da Vinci, just to try to see what
Hmm.
what he was getting, or kind of his
I
thought
love
process
that.
behind, because I'm guessing that he had more knowledge than, I think he's got
And
our
then
type of
Jesus has to
knowledge.
step in. Like, really? I mean,
Yeah,
really? How could he?
yeah, I never got to Da Vinci.
So much for that. Thanks, Jesus. But it's incredible. You were able to send me the symbol, and it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, and I love what you say. Like each spiritual experience just keeps getting better. There's just more, and I feel like with that, that there's
Mm-hmm.
more to come, that there's even more
Yeah.
better. So let me just catch up on comments real quick. You are the bomb. I agree with Potsy. And then Rachel says, Erin's awesome. Amazing Akashic sessions. Absolutely. Brenda Salzer says, hi, Erin. Nice to meet you. And Rachel saw the orb when you
Hello.
brought it up. She saw it. So that's cool. And I love that too,
Yeah,
like
it's
being able
crazy.
to be with other light workers and, channelers, mediums, that type of thing, because then we can verify with each other because it's not necessarily going to be in a science book or that type of thing. But hey, if you're getting something, I'm getting a similar hit, or we can go off of that somehow, it just gives us that verification, that
Mm-hmm.
confirmation, which is pretty awesome. Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, because not a lot of this stuff is Googleable. It's not like textbook. I went to school for design. There's a strict
Mhm.
program in marketing. You know what I mean? Like, there's just not that for the stuff. So, and that, when I started Heather doing, I think it was like February last year, the spiritual advising with you, that was kind of when, um, I was like, oh, I'm not a medium, but I really wanted to be. Because I can't remember if I think Reiki started first, because we had a session and we kind of talked about Reiki just a little bit. And then I'm like, God, I really want to take it from you. And then you're like,
Mhm.
oh, well, I'll just do it, Zoom. And then so I did that. And then I just took the leap on mediumship. And, I said, so I did them consecutive. Like it was a mediumship, then a Reiki, then a mediumship, Reiki. So, there was four each. And then I think we finished
Mhm.
Reiki this summer. So I've done through Reiki Master Teacher. And then I did the four mediumship. Um, and then I still do advising, and I've done a lot in a year, a lot. Like I can't say that I haven't accomplished a lot because I have. Um, but that's just me too. I work my ass off to make it happen. And being able to let my mind go and just let everything kind of soak in. But I still know that I just need to have sessions with you. I mean, we still talk all the time, but like having that one-on-one time, it really just helps to be like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to describe, but sometimes we go a little while without a session. I'm like, shit,
Mhm.
I just need a few sessions. And then so we just do, we have sessions for once a week or twice a week or like I don't ever feel like and I kind of struggled with that. It's like how am I supposed to become a teacher if I still need a teacher? But like all the coaches I've ever talked to, they're all like, well, I still have a coach. I still have and I'm like, well, then aren't you saying that you're not good enough? Like I struggled with that, and it was like kind of um I don't think anybody's ever perfect ever, but like I feel
Mhm.
like I still just need it. So we still do our,
And I
advising
almost feel like
sessions.
those are the
So
best teachers or those are the best coaches, knowing that we need to continue to work on ourselves because there's so much, there's so much. And I remember one time during a spiritual advising session, this was a while ago, but the person said, like, when do we arrive? And I'm like, we don't. We don't, not in this lifetime. So it's amazing because you can just keep growing and keep learning, which I love. I love our spiritual advising sessions. So I'd
yep.
love for you to share with people, you know, how the different courses have helped you, the VIP.
Did you
I
just
closed
see
my
that?
eyes. That was weird. I looked away and closed my eyes. Did anybody else see it? Continuing education.
Dude, and I can't see
Did
shit.
it?
And like it just literally like flew
I want to
right.
get
Yeah.
technology. Well, when I was inviting people, I saw a feather and I was
Six
so
o'clock. So we
excited.
gotta look.
Oh my gosh. Anybody
Yeah, it
else
was
see
big and
that?
white. Or I'm having a
Stop.
stroke.
You're
One or the
so
other. I
funny.
took my blood
Well,
pressure medicine
I'm
today,
excited
so it
because
should be fine.
Erin and I are going to do another interview. And this will be really good because we'll be able to pull in, I feel like, more spirits. I feel like a lot of them are trying to press in. You can probably feel it too. They're just like, okay, just go, like talk show, go. And so I think it's so interesting that I saw that feather when I was inviting everybody. You see that, there's a lot of activity. I love that so much. And Melissa says, continuing education. I like that. Everything evolves constantly. It never stays the same. For sure,
Yep.
Melissa. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So, yeah, so I'd love for you to be able to tell people how the services have helped you, VIP, the courses, retreat, any of those.
Oh yeah. Like I really like VIP because we just have that smaller group. I mean, it's not small, but it's just like we can ask whatever we want. And then to me, I guess I consider VIP like when you're ready for the next level, when you're really ready to, instead of just wanting to get better, like you're ready to be better. Like that's your step to be better. Um, and like you just have that availability of practicing more in depth and talking and I can post about my symbol in there and just say, what do you guys get from this? Or, is it weird? Is it, and it's not like the high school group where you're afraid to post things, and um, and I do go back and do the classes that are in there. Um, but more now I kind of just do the interaction with everybody because that in itself, then the spirit circles, I really love the spirit circles. We have our calls every other week, so it just gives us that kind of that group. I don't know that this is such kind of a strange field that you need other nerds, like you need other spiritual nerds to um, support you because it's really hard to describe. It's not like you need
I like this.
validation.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can just believe in yourself, but um, it's not a textbook thing. So it's nice to know that other people are getting kind of the same. So like I practiced in there, I just asked everybody to put a picture for so I could practice mediumship. And um, one, the picture I was looking at, Like for me, my process is I think so many spirits are always around me. I'm having a hard time deciphering. Um, so I know personally that I need to work on pushing the other ones back. So when I was practicing, I think it was Jane, with her brother, it happened to be her other brother that came in. So, I kind of felt deflated, like, well, God, if I can't, do this. And she's like, oh, you know what? It was my other brother. So then we can have a discussion about those types of things instead of if you're kind of practicing in a random group, you're kind of like, oh, no, that's not it, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, your ego kind of sometimes when you hit those, no, that's not it, your natural reaction is to shut down. But in the VIP, you can kind of talk through it and then you kind of get the thought process, or you just get more information instead of if you're kind of like I've practiced in random groups and they're like, oh, no, that's not, nope, nope. And then you're just like, well, shit, like it just really makes you doubt
Right.
yourself. But, with VIP, it really helps you can dig in, you can ask 1,000 things a day if you want, you know what I mean? And then we all just kind of pitch in and we can give our experiences or, I've been doing this for a year. Um, you've been doing it for 20, you know what I mean? Like there's other people with other levels and other specialties, because that's kind of one thing I learned is even though I've been in class with a lot of people in VIP through Reiki or mediumship or spirit circles, like we all do our stuff differently. And to learn that in itself is huge because, you know, Sylvia and I don't do Reiki the same. I get different things than she does, but that doesn't mean either of us are wrong. It just means that our process is different, so it just helps you to,
I saw
did you see
something, but
that?
I don't know if it was the same thing. Like, what was it? Was it a light?
What is happening? I
Hmm.
don't
I
know.
saw
It just
something
goes
zip
like this.
by. I was like, "What was that?" But I'm glad you saw it too, which is good. So that acceptance is what Rachel says with VIP, and Stacy Jackson. Oh, I can't wait to
Yeah.
be back in VIP. We can't wait to have you back, Stacy. Oh, yay! And Melissa, this is good. So having sounding boards, looking for the common thread because we are all connected. It's reinforcing what you know. Yeah, that's good. This is really good, Melissa.
Hmm.
This is good. Can't do spirituality by the book. There's no book, so no wrong way or right way. It's just your way. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. And then here's a question from Stephanie: as someone just starting out, how do y'all recommend going through the courses? Did you set time aside, or do you just set time aside?
No. For me personally, I don't have time. I work 9, 10 hours a day and then I come home and work 4 or 5 more hours. So honestly, and I have a desk job, so I just would listen to the courses at work and then I would just listen over and over. For me, I have to just repeatedly hear things. So I just listen to them over and over. And for me, I get more out of doing than I do just listening. So um, I just kind of would engage more. I just engage more in the group. And then I go back and listen to things if I need like a refresher or a reminder. Um, there's no set time to do the courses, there's no set way. If you choose to do one of the channeling courses and then you choose to do one of the pendulum courses, nothing is technically out of place and everything is there for you when you want to do it. So if you think, oh, I really need to brush up on my pendulum skills, then just do that course. But for me, I'm a high pressure person on myself and I want to figure shit out. So um, for me, the more that I pressured myself, the slower things were. So I had to really just let go. And even now, still, when I feel like I need to be doing something, it either just appears or it just works itself out. So I'm not stressing myself out on how it's going to work. Like I've been asked to teach this course here in town, and I'm like, oh, now I got to figure that out, But I'm like, I'm not putting pressure on myself. So it's the same thing with all the VIP courses. It's just you have to kind of go with where you're at that moment and then just let it be. If you're just not picking up on pendulum, do something else because maybe pendulum's not your thing. Like I'm really good at channeling. It's just natural for me. Writing and channeling because I can see what I'm doing. I need to be able to see things. Just a natural for me. Didn't even have to think twice about it. But like I struggle with pendulum because I feel like I get lots of conflicting on my pendulum, where don't feel that way with my writing. So, you know, it's just figuring
That's
out you and
perfect.
your
Stephanie
process.
says, duh, OMG, I should listen to Spirit as to what I need. Thank you. That's perfect. Well, and then I think too, wow, Erin, you work 8 hours a day and then 4 hours on top of that once you get home and you still find time, So I'm like, okay, you have, you can find that time, which is incredible. Would you be able to tell people about the retreat?
Yeah. So for me, it's hard. I've never done anything for myself as an adult. You know, I have two kids and a husband and work full time. And um, it was really scary for me to invest that money in myself. And, you know, when we could have been putting that money towards a bill, you know what I mean? Like I really struggled with some guilt and I kind of just knew that it was something that I needed to do. And I'll be honest, I'm uncomfortable with new people. I'm uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable traveling at all. That doesn't bother me. But we stayed in a house together, so it made me super uncomfortable. Um, and I don't know why, because I even get that way with my family. And I think it's just because I'm out of my element. And I wouldn't say I'm a homesick person, so I really kind of struggled at first um, that way. But it was just nice because a lot of them were in VIP, so we kind of had that closer bond anyway. But it was just really nice to like physically be with the women and um, all the things that I've kind of practiced with Heather through our because I've taken all my courses with Heather over Zoom. It was nice to be able to sit with her and do those techniques and kind of go farther. So we did really cool. Like I've never really gone into the future, so we were going into the future, and then um, just Sedona was crazy anyway. Like the fucking rocks were crazy. Like I was, I was just waiting to be abducted. That's just all that was happening. That was it. I was waiting. Um, but like the whole time, you know, I was sitting next to Paulette on the couch, and this rock flies off of the couch by my foot, and I'm like, what the mother? And like every Heather's like kind of leading us in like quiet guided meditations and
That's
her
right.
uncle
That's right.
there was
That's
so many
right.
spirits there. It was hard to and I look at her and I'm like waiting
Mhm.
for it, you know, like I look out my the window of the room that I had, and there was a little boy behind the tree, and you look up on the giant rocks and you just know there's things up there. And it was just like I couldn't figure out because we stayed close to a vortex, and I couldn't figure out if it was because we were by the vortex or because those rocks are so old or because we were kind of all together. And it was a way more spiritual place. Like people are just like coolly open about it there. So I couldn't quite figure it out because it was a lot. Um, but it was just really cool to be able to do all of these exercises and um, just like do it in real time, you know, instead of like I have no problem doing it over Zoom because you're still having that experience, but it was just nice to be like in the same room um, and be like, oh yeah, I felt that, or you know, you can like experience it the same like with Reiki when we did Reiki over Zoom, like I did not feel any. I felt every connection we were supposed to, you know what I mean? Like I felt it. But it was just cool to be in the same room and like have that collective energy at the same time.
Mhm.
You know, because we just did so many different exercises and um like I really felt like a lot of my signs that I was having kind of a hard time figuring out. Like I finally figured out that it's Isis who touches my back and my angels touch my head. Like, you know, I've really been trying to figure it out because I think so many spirits are around me all the time. Um, you know, figuring out that who's who, where's where, what's what process because with my clairs, so many of them are always going. I'm having a hard time. Men don't come into me one way. They might show me something or they might tell me something or they might you know, so at the retreat, I was able to figure out some of my main ones. Like Isis always touches the middle of my left back, and then the angels always touch my head, and like I think George and my mom touch my hand. And yesterday, I figured out my doctor is touching my left hand. You know, so it really helped to figure out um, some of my personal processes, and then um, just a lot of collective different things that we always work on, but you know you don't really work on a lot. So you were able to do that kind of in that group setting,
Awesome.
and it
I
was really
love
cool.
that. And I love what you bringing up my uncle because my uncle was he's in spirit, but he was very, very active there. And so there would be like a tap on the wall or a this or a that. And then when that rock went flying, I mean, it was incredible. It was just sitting on a table. That's it. It was between Paulette and Erin, and it just jumped up and flew off the table. And we were like, what just happened? So it was incredible to have that collective energy. It was amazing. Well, I'd love for you to be able to share with everybody what you're working on these days and how they can find you.
Um, my website is vintagemoons.com, and then Instagram is Vintage Moons Erin, and then I have a Facebook group. I think it's Vintage Moons. Um, I don't know if I'm like specifically doing one thing. I'm working on an Akashic course, but I'm trying not to push it either because I just don't feel I'm well more than prepared to teach it, but I'm not quite figured out what I want to teach because the process I was taught is a pretty simple process, but I don't know. I can't explain it, so I'm just not pushing it. So I am working on an Akashic course. Um, but I don't know. I'm kind of just trying to take things
And so
as
you
they
do
come
Akashic sessions
and
and
not,
mediumship sessions, Reiki
yep,
sessions, right? Mm-hmm.
yep, yep. And then, yeah, so kind of all of those. Past life, I'm going to a fair here pretty soon, and I got to figure out how to do like 15-minute past life thing. So I'm trying to
Yay, that's
figure that
awesome.
one
I love that.
out. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of things, I'm just trying not to put stress on and just try to figure them out as I go. But um, I am trying to work on a manifesting course that I'm going to teach here in town, which I'm considering doing like a Zoom also. Um, but I haven't quite figured it out if I'm just going to do like a basic and then intermediate,
That's good.
kind of like a 3 level, or just do a one and done. I haven't really figured it out, but
So you have
um,
quite a few things in the
so
works,
that's
and
kind of
I love this
exciting.
too because I feel like you're always learning, and then you're also learning with what spirit's putting in front of you. Like it just feels like you get these opportunities like, oh, okay, I'm going to sign up for this fair. I'm going to do 15-minute past life sessions. I got to figure out maybe how to condense it, I'm sure. Or even with the Akashic course, it's almost like, here's the opportunity. Okay, I need to figure this out. So what I love about that is it's like right in front of you and you're able to figure out how you're going to do it. Like spirit presents it as opportunity. And then you're like, okay, how do I do this then? So I love that. Brenda
Yep.
Salzer's interested in past lives, absolutely. And then Kim Leisher's here. I love that. I have to say this too, Erin. You've
Hi,
had
Kim.
3 little orbs that went up behind you. We're going to have to go back like 5 minutes. It's crazy. Like it shot
See,
straight up, and then it went across,
they've
and then there
been
was yeah.
crazy. So I've done the last couple weeks, I've done an angelic practitioner, like intermediate and then advanced. So since I finished those, the orbs have been
That's
ridiculous,
amazing.
like crazy, like following like fireworks. So did you see that again? I'm kind of wondering if
I
it's
love that. Did you
angels.
see it too? Melissa saw it too.
Um,
Well, and it was crazy. One of them, it like was an
yeah.
orb and it like shot across, right? Across behind you. And then on my side, like in my real time, there was a feather. Like it was like, phew, and then it like went off screen into a feather on my side. I was like, whoa. And I was trying really hard to just keep a straight face listening to you because I'm like, there is some stuff happening behind and across and over here. And that's incredible. Glad you saw it too. That's so cool. That's so cool. I love that. Well, thank you so
That's
much for
crazy.
joining us. And definitely check Erin out at Vintage Moons. And that's Facebook, right? And then Vintage Moon
Yep.
Erin is Instagram. And then your website is also Vintage Moon,
Yep.
right? Is it Moon or Moons?
Yep.
Moons. Okay, so Vintage Moons with an
Moons.
S. That's awesome. Well,
Yep.
thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, one thing that's kind of cool is I think I'm going to do, I don't know, it's not a secret anymore, but I had gastric sleeve surgery and I'm having a lot of problems with food. So I think I'm going to do check into my past
Oh,
lives about foods
cool.
because I was getting some good hits. So I might do some type of a course about eating and you know what I mean? Like kind of your mindset in eating because
Oh, I
it's been
love
a
that. So
challenge
stay
lately.